What's up, everybody? How are you doing today? I know it's been a while since I did an update on the 3-axis gimbal that I did 4 weeks ago. It's called the ISteady Pro. It's by a company called Hoem, and I've had a lot of problems with this gimbal, and I wanted to do a follow-up about it and just kind of show you what's going on, and that's coming right up. Okay, so like I said, it's been 4 weeks. I've had the gimbal, I've played with it, I have tried my best to figure out all the parameters, because this gimbal is not like the Feiyutech G4QD gimbal where it's just turn it on, you're good to go. It's not like the Evo gimbal where you just do a simple straight down calibration and it's good to go. This one comes with an app that you can have on your phone. Like I've got the iOS app here, and when you're in the app, you're allowed to control a lot of the parameters, the motor strength, how fast that it will pan left and right, how fast it'll tilt up and down, the roll access on it. It'll adjust all these parameters, and it's not that I'm a novice with gimbals because I've got a ton of them, but this one has been very challenging. Challenging to the point to where if you look at the first video that I did, and I'll put an info card right up here so that you can kind of go back and take a look at that video. But that video, I had an issue with the roll on it. So the roll access on it is when the camera does this. So when I noticed the footage, because you know when you're looking at a gimbal, you can't tell the little micro movements that are happening visually with your naked eye, but you definitely do see it in the video that is produced with it. So what I noticed was when I was walking, it was doing a little bit of this, and then it got to a point to where when I was just panning around, I saw that the roll axis would just be, I mean, it would move visually probably anywhere from 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch of movement, which is a lot of movement for an action camera. So they came out with an update, a firmware update, and I was extremely hopeful. So the update came out, downloaded it, uploaded it to the gimbal, and then the gimbal stayed crooked. Actually, it was this way. And no matter what I did in the app, tried to correct it, it still stayed crooked. So then I thought, you know, I'm gonna just go ahead and do another calibration on it. And by the way, if you do have the ISteady Pro and you look at the calibration, the photos for the calibration, they are very difficult to depict exactly how they want you to move the gimbal around. And I found the easiest way is because one of the movements is impossible to do with the camera actually in it, even though the photo shows the camera in the gimbal. So I just chose to take the camera out of the gimbal and then do its orientation, turned it back on, and to my surprise, the horizon, let me turn this on here real quick so you can see, the horizon was perfect. And I thought, pow! All right, good deal. All I needed was a firmware update and to go ahead and redo a calibration, a nice fresh calibration on it, and it would take care of it. And then I went out today to take some footage with it, and then I actually used the GoPro Hero 7 Black behind it because I was shooting in 4K just to show the improvement of the gimbal. Now, it is a budget gimbal. I mean, when you're talking about a gimbal that is in the $98, $99 range, it's under $100. That has all these features. I mean, this gimbal has so much potential. It comes with the little tripod feet for the bottom, which is great. You got a 1/4-20 on the bottom. The tripod feet come in handy, trust me. And then you've got a nice little 1/4-20 screw here on the side, which is nice if you want to add lights to it, or if you want to add an external microphone with an external recorder, whatever the case may be. You have the ability not only to charge the gimbal from this port, but also to send out current to charge your action camera. 12-hour battery life. These are all fantastic things. Its build quality is really, really good. I like it. The motor strength seems to be good because it handles the GoPro Hero 7, 6, and 5 blacks, no problem. And I was doing it with the Mija because the Mija is a little bit of a heavier and wider action camera. So I wanted to try all those, and I didn't get any motor vibration, which is great. I didn't get any problems with it making audible noise. The GoPro Hero 6 did pick up a little bit of the motor noise, but you know, it's gimbals and GoPros, so you know, that's GoPro's way of figuring out how they're going to place their microphones, which is in the probably the most inopportune spots to put them. But anyway, back to the iSteady Pro. So I did the firmware, did a new calibration, and I was really hopeful because I was walking around the driveway with it, and I was like, wow, it seems visually to my eyes to actually be in a good position to where it's actually going to be a nice smooth video shot. I don't expect this to perform like a $300 gimbal for action cameras. Please know that. But I did expect a little bit more out of it. And I still see little wobbles with it. And that's very unfortunate. Now, I'm sure that the gimbal will work great, or hang on, let me rephrase that. I'm sure that the gimbal will work better if you had image stabilization on the action camera in combination with this 3-axis gimbal. Now, there was a subscriber that actually was asking me on Twitter, Dan was asking me about, hey, the iSteady Pro, what's your final thoughts on it? And I said, well, you know, a new firmware just came out, so they're gonna do some more testing. And then it's like, it's just not worth it because it was doing this. And then today I decided just to go ahead and let's just do a straight calibration again and just see. While the calibration did fix the roll axis or the horizontal position of the camera, it still has some wobbles. It still does, and you know, people can say, well, you're supposed to do a duck walk. You know, with my Evo GP Pro, I don't have to do a duck walk. It handles any kind of movement that I do, except for this one. When let me turn this on for a second, just so I can show you. So, when you're in this position and you're walking and you're doing this, you're gonna see, let's see if you could see it maybe from this angle a little bit better. Get that in focus there. But when you're walking and this is happening right here, and the gimbal's attempting to adjust for it, you will see some of that up and down movement, which is normal because you're gonna see that in every 3-axis gimbal unless you have a spring-loaded hand stabilizer and the gimbal's directly in the center of it, and you have one of those which compensate for the up and down movement of the entire gimbal assembly, like your arm would actually, while you're walking. Well, so some people will say, well, just do the duck walk. Well, I'm not gonna do the duck walk. I got a 3-axis gimbal. It should take out the majority of it. So I'm scratching my beard because it's, I don't know if you can tell here. It's No Shave November, so I'm not shaving. It's my wife's favorite time of year, and I say that 100% sarcastically because she cannot stand it. Her thing is like, you know, if you only did it for a month, for the month of November, that'd be fine, but I usually go into January or February, and then I'll finally shave it off and go back to just a goatee. Go ahead, check myself out there, because the goatee I've had forever. So, back to this gimbal. Is it worth it? That's a tough call because it has so many pluses for this gimbal. It's got great battery life. It has all these extra 1/4-20 screws on it. It's got some very cool modes on it. It's very well built. It comes with the tripod mount for the bottom. All these things are fantastic, but at the end of the day, you can have something that has all these accessories, let's say like an action camera that comes with its package that is just packed full of accessories, And you don't get one battery, you get two batteries. You get an external battery charger, all these great things. And then you look at the camera video quality and you go, I look at the gimbal and I go, wow, it's got all these great things going for it. It just needs a little bit more fine tuning. So to Hohem, if you're watching, try to address some more of the firmware, because I think you're on the right track. I think that this gimbal has so much potential that for its price range, it'll be perfect for everybody on a budget if it just steadies out the shots a little bit better. And it's not a really sponsored ad for ISteady Pro. I mean, they sent me the gimbal to check out. I was not told what to say. It's just from my honest opinion. And I think, like I said, honest opinion, I think it has some potential. They just need a little bit more tweaks. So Hohem, if you're listening, tweak the firmware a little bit more, because I did everything on the settings on my phone for this app to try to get everything perfect, and I can't get it perfect. I'll put a little product link in the description below for the ISteady Pro 3-axis budget gimbal, and also for the Amiga. I mean, it's $89 for a native 4K. It has electronic image stabilization 1080p at 30 frames per second and also 60 frames per second. The electronic image stabilization is really not that bad. It's not fantastic. It is definitely not GoPro Hero 7, but it is good for what it is, considering that it's $89 for native 4K. And I think the image quality is very nice out of this camera. I keep on talking about the Amiga because I like it personally. But anyway, long video, went longer than what I thought, but I did want to give you an in-depth update regarding the ISteady Pro 3-axis gimbal and why I'm still kind of on the fence about it and why I haven't really done an update, because I'm trying to give them every opportunity. Because if the build quality on this thing was garbage, I would tell you it's garbage and move along and on to the next review. But it's got potential. The motors are great on it. The build quality is great. The battery's great. The options are great. The features of the gimbal are great. The accessories that come with it, the nice little hard shell package that comes with it is great. Just address the firmware a little bit and make it operate a little bit better. That's all I got to say about that. I hope you guys have yourself a great day. And remember, links in the description below. And if you're not a subscriber, pow, smash that subscribe button. Also click the bell, bing, so that you're notified every single time I upload a video. And even if it's just for watching my beard grow over the next month or 2 or 4. Bye.